Well, it's certainly good to be here, and I'm ready to answer any questions any of your folks here might have.
Well, Mr. President, I would first like to ask, and I'm sure everyone would be concerned about how's your health these days?
Well, I feel fine. As a matter of fact, you remember I had part of my colon taken out. Now I have a semicolon. Yeah, I have a semicolon, and my lovely wife, Nancy, would you believe she has a period? Still does. And our son, Ron Jr., has a question mark. We just don't know.
Yes, we'd like to ask the President something, please.
Mr. President, do you plan to cut Social Security in the future?
No, we don't plan on cutting Social Security. The last thing we will do is pull the rug out from under the elderly. That'd be an awful sight, wouldn't it, with canes and walkers flying about?
Yes, sir.
Mr. President, what do you think about the abortion issue today?
Well, I have always opposed abortion. You know that. If there is some doubt as to whether the unborn is a viable human being, should we not then grant it the benefit of that doubt to at least allow it to come into this world so it can then be taxed? Next question,
yes, sir.
Mr. President, what's the news concerning the Soviet spying on us from submarines?
Well, we're going to combat that with our own submarines going over there, our Trident submarine, and I don't know if you knew this, Fred, but 4 out of 5 nations surveyed recommend Trident to their navies who choose such.
Yes.
Mr. President, what about your Star Wars technology?
Well, I said we will give the Soviets our Star Wars technology once we've developed it. And you might ask why. Well, we have something better than Star Wars technology. The Empire Strikes Back technology. God bless you.
Pardon me, one final question in this news conference, Mr. President. Do you plan to meet the Soviet Premier Gorbachev in November?
Well, there's talk of my meeting with Gorbachev, but I don't know. You see, I didn't meet with Brezhnev, and he died. I didn't meet with Andropov, and I didn't meet with Chernenko, and they all died. I don't think I'll meet with Gorbachev. We'll see if I can go 4 for 4. They're dropping like...
Ladies and gentlemen, all is set up. Please welcome Jim Morris. Come on over, Jim. Good to see you. Have a seat, please. You bet. Jim Morris is 28 years old, and you've been imitating people how?
Well, ever since I was a little kid. I used to get smacked in the face making fun of my relatives. The first impression I ever did was my Uncle Morty.
Would you pass the matzo balls, please? Come on, the matzo balls are...
And I'd be sitting right across from him and going,
Well, what are you doing? Look at the kid. He's making fun of me. Why are you talking like that?
he said to me, and I just looked at him and I said,
I don't know why you talking like that.
Thus launched a career in mimicry.
I understand you got in trouble in high school one time. What's that story?
Well, I used to imitate all the teachers, and one time I went on the PA system, dismissing the school as my principal. You are all dismissed, go home, have a holiday.
And he did?
Oh, yes, yes. You should have seen the look on his face when he bust into his office. It was very funny. But I used to go into the boys' room and yell at them, all right, all cigarettes out, you're going home on a 3-day vacation. Hear the toilet flush. And
all right. What do you really look for? Specific mannerisms of certain people? What? Huh? Yeah, like guys who use their hands to talk a lot?
Yeah, well, I do a lot of different impressions. The only woman I do is Julia Child. Well, imagine her as a stand-up comedian. Well, why did the chicken cross the road? Well, because I chopped its little head off and know where the heck it was going.
Not bad. All right. How about a guy like Carson? You do him?
Well, hello, I'm Johnny Carson. We've got a great show for you. Yeah, I do Carson, I do news people. They're great vehicles for presenting stories like Harry Reasoner. You know, I don't know why the heck I talk like this, but I make a lot of money, so I'll stick with it.
People like Ted Koppel.
Ah, you Koppel.
Good evening, I am Ted Koppel, and this is Nightline. Tonight on Nightline, 'twas the night before Christmas, and all through the house, not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. When we return, we will talk with that mouse, live as well as with Santa Claus, who will be joining us live from our ABC affiliate in the North Pole, KOLD.
Yes. All right. You know what's funny is that Jim picked up on the stereotype. We all think of Ted Koppel as never smiling. This is one of the wittier guys around.
Oh, he's very talented. He does impressions himself. He does Nixon and Buckley and Kennedy. Ted Kennedy, that is. Yeah.
You can make a buck doing this. I understand you actually have a Rent a Reagan service.
Rent a Reagan. I hire myself out and scare little children. And no, conventions and I've even been flown by helicopter into certain locations. I come out and I address the crowd and I work in remarks about the occasion, the company, whether it's a banquet or a convention, that sort of thing.
Democrats hire you a lot, do they?
Oh, yes. But
I would
Republicans as well.
Really?
Republicans can afford to laugh at themselves these days.
Does the president know you do this?
Well, I hope not. No.
What do you think his impression would be, really?
Well, I don't do impressions.
No. President Reagan, I'm not afraid of what he'd think. He'd probably look at me and say, well, here's a good example of where we have failed in our public schools.
Right. Jim Morris, ladies and gentlemen. He's going to be appearing on Comedy Tonight next month. And if you'd like some more information, give our hotline a call. Thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
Mr. President.